Hey everyone, Ryan Coates here, and today we're going to talk about CocoaPods. Is a dependency management system for Swift. It has tons of different libraries and is used in 2.4 million apps as stated on their website. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight here. If you see the search bar up here, you can search many different pods. We're going to look up today Alamo Fire. So I'm not going to get into what Alamo Fire is in this video, but for the sense of learning how to include pods in your project, we're going to use Alamo Fire. Now on the website, there's a quick, nice tool here that gives you the line that you want to include in your pod file. So copy that now. We'll move over to this project I created called CocoaPods Demo, and I created a file called pod file. Let's look inside. You're going to want to right click and open with Xcode to make sure you have a better editor to edit your pod file. We'll go through this one by one. The source at the top is telling the pod file that we're going to grab the specs that live inside the CocoaPods GitHub repo. What specs are is each public CocoaPod that comes out, they make a spec telling you which platform it can run on, the operating system, the people who made it, and so on. You can read more about that on the CocoaPods website. This line here specifies the platform we're running the CocoaPods on. We're going to only specify on the iOS platform as of now, and we're going to run our CocoaPods on iOS 9 and above. Use frameworks is used for Swift libraries. Inhibit all warnings. I use this to get rid of warnings from third-party libraries within the Xcode debugger. This is an optional, we can take this out, it's no big deal. You'll just see some warnings from the libraries that are included within the CocoaPods. The project is the file path to your Xcode project file, which in our case, if we go back here, is cocoapodsdemo.xcode project. Here I'm dividing a function called allpods, and I'm including the line from the website that you found, Alamo Fire. This little tidbit right here is telling us, hey, when we do our pod update, we don't want to go above 5.0. So we can go to 4.5, 4.6, even 4.7. But when Alamo Fire releases 5.0, we will not go to that until we're ready to do it ourselves. This helps with bringing in newer code and making your application less stable when you don't want it to be. Now this is where you set up your targets. An application can have multiple targets, which we can get into later videos, but for now we only have one target, which is called CocoaPods Demo. So we're going to run that function within here, and when we do pod update later, you'll see that it calls the Alamo Fire and installs it into our application. Let's see how that works. So you'll know if you have CocoaPods installed by going to your terminal and typing in pod version. So you'll see that there's no such file found. So we have to install CocoaPods on the computer itself. So there's a nice command, sudo, so that you are the computer owner, gem install CocoaPods. Enter your password, and CocoaPods will do the rest. This could take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, so don't get worried. Perfect, CocoaPods is installed. The latest version in this video is 1.3.1. Now, once CocoaPods is installed, you can do pod version again and realize it shows you what the version is. Great. So now we want to do this command called pod update, which will take our pod file and grab the Alamo Fire framework, which is the only CocoaPod that's included. This could also take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Perfect, we're all set. Now let's go through this real quick. You can see it downloaded the dependencies, installed Alamo Fire, generated the pods project, and you'll see this little tidbit down here. From now on, we're going to use this new file that was auto-generated called CocoaPodsDemo.xc workspace. We no longer will open the Xcode project file. So if you come into your folder, you'll notice that we have this Xcode project, which will still stay here. We have this new Xcode Pods Demo XC workspace. Let's open that now. You'll notice you still have your project at the top, and now you have this new subproject called Pods, and within there included is our Alamo Fire subproject. So now if you go to the app delegate, you can now see that you can import that framework and start using all of the features that it comes with. Real quick before we're finished with this video, I wanted to show you where this can come in handy. There's a website I like called cococontrols.com. Here you can browse tons of latest controls that developers all around the world are creating. Whether you want to contribute or you want to use something that someone else has contributed, you can see the licenses that they use, so you make sure you're including something that is open to the public in your application and not something that's not for commercial use. There's tons of cool stuff in here, so I highly recommend looking through here if you're looking to find some kind of control that you need for your application that you might not want to build by hand because you don't have the time, and just see if there's a nice open source control for you. Now, I hope this video was really insightful. It's really important to have a dependency manager for your application. It makes it really easy to get up and running really quickly. If you want to see more videos like this and stay up to date, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have tons of cool stuff coming your way in later videos.